What is going on, guys? This is your main man Ben here, and we are Talk Active, practicing wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation. What is going on, guys? This is your main boy, man. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day to everyone. I wish you all are having a great day so far. And it's midweek. Everything is awesome because Friday is just around the corner. And I don't know why, but that's what everybody is looking for. I know I am, but yes, sir. Yes, sir. And yes, ma'am. We are episode 84 of our Talk Active. And if you guys missed it, we got a new website. Post the link in there. This is where our content's going to get pumped out. I think about, we're almost 100 episode in our podcast. And once again, the podcast is growing. I'm amazed, because we're just pitching, we're contributing. And the main goal of this podcast is contribution to the universe. We're not, anything goes beyond that is a bonus, and that's a blessing, and we welcome every single blessing because it is amazing. As far as that, guys, we are episode 84, and once again we are gonna close out June. The month of June is amazing, although right now it's not quite amazing because I'm facing a little bit of hurdle, a little injury break. So I cannot do any outdoor activities, quote unquote, bicycle or cycling. Cannot ride my gravel bike yet. And basketball, because for some reason I hurt my ankle after that ride me and my wife did. We crossed the Maryland and Pennsylvania border 2 weeks ago. But it was odd because it didn't really get hurt until Monday. And then it actually manifested in Tuesday, and it dragged on the week. But we're recovering. God is good, man. God is good, and that's what important. We move forward. That's what we got right now. By the way, guys, we are episode 84 once again, and we're closing out the month of June strong as ever. The theme or the theme verse of June was problem solving. We're gonna finish up with the bang, and once again we will pick up the book of Proverbs for this month because Proverbs is a reinforcement that I like personally, because the book of Proverbs reminds us to fear the Lord and offer a practical solution or practical instructions on how we can live well. Practical, live well. That's Proverbs. And today, this is the series, Problem Solving. It has been an amazing series, man, and hope that you guys are picking up some things in here, because it's a journey. It's a beautiful journey, and there's just so much to learn and so much growth that we're going to have to explore. But other than that, guys, I was baffled last night. Actually, we are in the bedroom with my family, and I overheard my wife and my daughter. Amazing, because I overheard them, but I was just right beside them, so I didn't peek. But I overheard them talking to each other with regards to goals and time management. So goals and time management, partly because my daughter is going to high school, and my wife is reinforcing things to her, And quote unquote, man, my wife is a very good coach. And also kudos to Madison because she is really, really a good kid. But we always reinforce them, not pushing them, but reinforce. So what stands out last night on their discussion that sticks out to me is that when my wife said that goals or resolution is made in a 24-hour basis. 24-hour basis. Meaning goals or resolutions are made every single day. So that's what she told my daughter. And I just look at on this side because they were on this side. It's like, that's something. I didn't realize that until I know things, but that is kind of like, it's different when you're saying it and when you actually do it. And the struggle is real. Yes. And in that 24 hours, the goal is to complete your resolution. You don't let it sit in there, and you complete that resolution. So when we hear the word resolution, aside from solving the problem, because you want to have a resolution, for example, and this is specific problem. If you're a land administrator, if you're a tech, something went down, you want to have a resolution, or what's the cause and what's the effect, and how can we address it? So that's resolution. So when we talk about resolution, it's typically heard a lot in the beginning of the year. New Year's resolution, the New Year's resolution. The goal of this resolution is to be better. Overall, in summary, it's 80% of people are going back to the gym. And it feels good, the first week of that new year. We all know the story goes after that first week, at least, a month passed, couple of weeks or so, then bad habits wins again. No judgment here. But what happened to the pumped up version? What happened to you, Ben? The pumped up version of us doing that first day of the year. The adrenaline rush, the drive, that strong push for the determination of the spirit of Ben to change your lifestyle. It all becomes a natural big excuse. It's a natural big excuse to really not do it again and again and again. It is an ending cycle of excuse. We always say that I'm going to work out a couple of days a week, maybe 3 times a week, to improve my blood pressure, to improve my bone density, to improve my muscle, depending on what your goal is. But then again, we always find ourselves falling back to that big excuse again and again. It sounds familiar. I give you a strong example here. Typical person, excuse. I was just born this way, I'm just born this way. I can't change it. One more. I never learned anything different. My parents set a terrible example. Everyone else does it, right? I heard that a lot, including me at times. But what are these? I'll tell you what it is. This is justifying to stay where you're at, where we at. We justify these things. We make excuses to justify not doing the resolution, the purpose. Putting blame or throwing shades to others just to justify my excuse, your excuse, instead of striving to become better. Let's step back here real quick. Easier said than done, Ben. Easier said than done. Right. But remember, the story I told you a while ago, that the 24 hours gap that my wife and my daughter talked about, those are smaller details. These details in our life that if we add up annually or even monthly or even weekly, this minor little things, the 24-hour resolution, if we sum that up, it turns into a snowball effect. If you roll it up in a year, in a month, in a week, it turns into a snowball effect, meaning it grows bigger and bigger into a small thing to becoming a better thing. It's a continual progress that we make. And not being too hypercritical about it, but it's easier said than done. But if we start on that little goals, on that 24-hour resolution, especially to those people that practices it and it manifests, and you can tell it that naturally it's within them. It's within them. So the truth is, what happens if obstacles are in the way? Naturally, once again, while it's true in life, we cannot avoid this, but the main difference is it should not impede our intentions and attitudes towards the obstacle. It should not impede in attitudes towards that obstacle. Instead, we adopt. You put into the action on achieving it. We adopt like when you're in front of the bus station and you're 8 a.m. and you're there at 7:30, but the bus is not going to arrive. It came late. What can you do? You have to adapt into the situation because you can't control that. One way or the other, the bus isn't going to arrive on time. Well, you have a lot of ways to do it, but there's really no wallowing in it. But you have to adapt on the situation. So if you fail, you did not entirely lose. Why is that? Because you gained experience. We gained knowledge. Once we achieve that, if you listen to our last episode, we discussed knowledge. We discussed the highest form of intelligence. It's not the title at the end of our name, the BA, the MA, the master's, the doctorate. It's not that. The highest form of intelligence is creativity, and the knowledge creation within that creativity. So we adopt. The adaptation is not in the manual. It's spontaneous. It's not scripted, but it just happens. Then you adopt. You instead of camouflage, you go in and you make it happen. We make a solution out of it, regardless of what the situation is, regardless of what's the obstacles in front of us. One thing that stands out to me is I looked up to the boxing legend, Iron Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a champion. No doubt he's a legend, heavyweight, not as heavily favored when he started because he's not as tall. He's not as, bigger than the other heavyweight champions. But Mike Tyson put work day in and day out in the gym. He skills. He keeps on adjusting, correcting, while the coach is telling him what his strengths and what's his weaknesses. He keeps adapting and honing his skills. Different opponents, different types of techniques, bringing in different sparring partners to adapt into the situation as close as possible on the fight night where he will actually fight the guy or the opponent on the other side of the ring. But prior to that, he practiced a lot. He brings different people, sparring partners, to mimic as close as possible to the person that he's fighting. So what does this tell us? There are no excuses during the fight day. You have a time allotted, agreed on this time. Then you have that preparation time. You do what you have to do to accomplish it to the fight day, training, and then the actual exams. So there's no excuses. Certainly, we cannot blame parents for not being perfect. They didn't come out of the womb incapable of ego or immune temptation. Our parents did not, They work in it. They made it priority that they become who they are. Just like you can. It's a little bit of a reality check there, but indeed, we can always accomplish that as well if we allow it, If someone hurt us, what's our reaction? There's a chance to practice forgiveness. Always you can have a chance to practice, retaliation, but there's also forgiveness. If something prevents you from getting your destination on time, then there's a chance to practice patience. If you made a bad trade in crypto or stocks, then cut your losses, stop loss, go back to your indicators and learn from it. What else can you do? You're the one who clicked that mouse, and by the end of the day, you want to grow, cut that stop loss and learn from it. Go back to the drawing board. Once again, guys, Proverbs 17 verses 23 and 24 says, in 23, the wicked take secret drives to pervert the course of justice. In verse 24, sensible people keep their eyes glued on wisdom, but a fool's eyes wander to the ends of the earth. It's a very home run hitting verse, and it's amazing. And that's brought us to our ending segment here. Problem solving in June. I hope you guys picked up something. And by the end of the day, man, you are who you are, but it's your choice to grow or, chance to just be affecting other people surrounding you, especially your family, in a good way. We're going to close our segment here. The Bible, this is how I always translate it. Since once again, you read the Bible, God is talking to you. Doesn't mean there's only one version or translation of this verse, and your version is incorrect. It's not like that. It's just that He talks to us on a personal level by reading the Bible. Since we have our own understanding, then we grow individually. Friends, it is possible to curb your arrogance to overcome pleasure and pain. Well, it's true that someone can impede our actions. They can impede our intentions and our attitudes, which is capable of being conditional and adaptable. The obstacle on the path becomes the way. Thank you for listening, guys. This is your main man, Ben, here. Always remember, God is good all the time. Peace out.